I'm 10 pounds over. What do I do? Like,
Yeah.
what do you do?
Stay home, I guess. I don't know.
You know, I was involved with the King of the Cage. Had a student. He's actually from Tarzana, the Tarzana Country Club.
Yeah.
And we did a couple shows up there, and we had like 10 fights or something like that, 11 fights, and then we dropped down to like 6 or something, or 5, not down to 5, and I ended up fighting. I had like we had 4 of my guys, and Ronda Rousey on the card, and it was all my guys and Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey was there, you know, we were all friends too, but Ronda Rousey and 4 of my guys, and it was like, okay, I guess I'll fight too, you know, just so it's like, so you know, we have something, you know.
Show and
the guy, he was a member at the country club, and so we got it done, and I ended up fighting on the card because it was so crazy. I felt so bad. I was like, this guy put all this money into making this event, and he was supposed to fight on it as well. And he was like, he was in his 40s, you know, so to go through all of it, and then he got hurt, you know. But those are those things, right?
Dude, it's so crazy. Even our last card, because you know you always have a percentage of fights that drop, right? So we made 24.
I mean, fights were falling in and out, but I think our high when like we were kind of getting close to the event was we were at 22 or 23 made fights. Yeah.
Yeah, and the commission's like, you cannot have more than 20.
I'm just telling you, don't even worry about it. We won't have more than 20.
Fights weren't dropping.
You already knew
fights
that.
weren't
Yeah.
dropping.
I mean,
boom. But no, we dropped. We got to 20. But could you imagine that?
Yeah. But the event before that, we made about 23 fights and we dropped to like 16. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, no matter how many times
gotta roll with the punches.
Yeah,
never go moment.
Literally.
Never.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm a control freak, so I like to structure everything. Like even for Up Next, I have everything organized way in advance, right? Everything's structured. So to really operate in this space with all these unknowns is just so challenging.
Yeah. I mean, you never do know. And, you know, a couple fights usually fall out of weigh-ins, whether the fighter's already medically clear, then they have to see the doctor there, and there's, you know, whatever it may be, it's nuts. And then you really just got to roll with the punches and do we can. We'll make sure we call you if we ever need someone to step in. Short notice, we got you.
You'll still take a short notice one?
Speaking of that, the last event I was supposed to fight in was for George, and I didn't pass my medical.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I didn't pass my medical, and like so I wouldn't be able to fight in California or Nevada, right? And so I was even thinking, I'll fight international, and then my wife was, I'm thinking my wife, like, she'll kill me, you know? She doesn't want me fighting anyway, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think you're 48. How old are you? 48?
Yeah, 48.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, man. Yeah. No. Too
Yeah,
old.
yeah.
We're too old. Like, I mean, I got you. I'm 56. I think once you get like over 40, I just feel like you're taking unnecessary risk.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, when was that? That was 2012, I think.
Okay.
Right? 2012. So they found these lesions in my brain, and then they actually let me pass when I was going to fight in the UFC. And then they're like, we're going to keep an eye on it. And then 5 years later, every 5 years, they make you do a brain MRI for the thing, for the fight medical. And then they found these lesions, and they're bigger lesions. They grew.
They grew.
And they said, we can't let you fight. We need to do more testing. And then I had to call George. Hey, George, sorry.
Yeah.
You know, can't make it. And then
Did that bum you out, or were you just like?
well, the way
cool
they
with it
treated
kinda
me
thing,
was
or?
like they kind of treated me like do something serious, you know.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay, you know. And then they did more tests. It was like neurological tests, and they ended up diagnosing me with like multiple sclerosis, you know. Wow. And it's just the way I was treated. Like my life is over, you know.
Wow.
And that was interesting, right? But because of my background and whatever, you kind of don't accept like failure is not an option, right?
Yeah.
And so I asked the doctor, because everybody's like, oh, I'm sorry, you know, like my life is over. I was like, can I still do jujitsu? And he's like, sure, there's no head trauma. I was like, okay, sounds good. And I just figured my wife was going to be happy because I wasn't fighting anymore.
He's like, very happy.
Because I'll never give up, you know?
Yeah.
So that was it, you know, that was it. And it's time, you know, my last fight was actually in the south of France. So it was my friend, he had a really big sponsor. So they did a fight in the south of France, like right next to the French Riviera.
Wow.
So I got to fight in a bullfighting arena for my last fight. So it was a way to go out in the sunset, you know, of a nice, you know, it was a full career. It was nice. Got to fight around the world, and what more can I ask, you know? One
cool thing about, I mean, you live and breathe sort of the fight game, but you know, you're a smart guy. You're an entrepreneur. You've got other things going on.
I don't need it for the money, right?
Yeah, and I think some of these guys, like, fighting is 100% their identity. We have a prospect who's 5-0, undefeated, probably knock on the door to the UFC also, but you know, he went through his last medicals and didn't pass the heart exam. He's got a murmur or something with his heart, and it's just, I feel so sad for this kid because he's kind of lost a little bit trying to find his identity, trying to heal, and so he can get back in that cage. It just sucks.
No, it definitely does suck. But I think we